Hey everyone, Steven the Salon Guy here, and today I'm going to give you some insightful tips on how to remove a hair system. So this partnership that I've had with Lavivid Hair has been amazing, and yes, this video and all my other videos on hair systems are in partnership with Lavivid Hair because I think they make the best hair systems or hair units. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube kind of explaining how to remove a hair system. And in my own experience, when I was wearing one, I went through all sorts of different types of challenges because I was kind of unsure of what to do. And first and foremost, let's talk about this particular hair system right here. So this is a poly thin skin base. This is probably the best, most natural type of hairline and unit that I've seen from Lavivid Hair. If you want that ultra thin skin base, and a link will be in the description below if you're looking for something like this. Also, if you use code TheSalonGuy, you get 15% off your order of anything you purchase from lavividhair.com. So one thing I want you to understand and take notice of is that the hairline on this is very, very natural, right? And I've done videos about hairlines in the past, and I see a lot of people wearing a hair unit or a hair system, and it's so thick and it just looks so unnatural to me. It screams, I'm wearing a hair piece or I'm wearing a hair system. That's cool if you're comfortable, whatever makes you feel good. To me, I think a hairline that's not super straight across is gonna look more natural, or where the hair is actually thinned out quite a bit because these hair systems are pretty dense. By adding texture to it and making it a little bit less dense, that again makes it look a little more natural and believable. Because most people, right, most human beings don't have hair or a hairline that thick or that straight. I mean, yes, they do exist, but you want to make sure that you're wearing something in a very natural way. So putting it on is one challenge in itself, but then taking it off is another challenge. So the first thing you're going to need is a removal, right? Some sort of hair or glue removal. And this is the Ghostbuster from Professional Hair Labs, right? This is designed to help break down the adhesive from the glue and help you remove the hair system from the head. And Lavivid Hair does have this, and they sell all sorts of sprays and tools that's needed in order to remove a hair system. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna get a little bit closer here, and I'm gonna show you an awesome technique of how you should go about doing it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to spray it right towards the root area and give it a shot right in the front hairline, just like that. And what I like to do is work it in with my finger, right? Because you want to start to loosen up that base. And then you can start to spray it a little bit throughout maybe the separation or the area where it's taped in around the round of the head, because sometimes you want to try to get this to where it's exactly at that part where it separates the real hair from this. So give it a couple of sprays and massage it in, right? When you massage it in, it just starts to break up the adhesive. So the important thing is you want to start to see a little bit of lift. And yes, it gets kind of messy, I'll admit, but that's why you have to be extremely careful with it. Another tip is that sometimes I'll take a towel, right, a cotton towel, and I'll spray a bunch of this on here. And then what I'll do is I'll start to kind of lightly push back, like so. And what's happening is you can see that the hairline here is actually lifting. The poly base is lifting from the scalp. You just need to be very, very, very careful because you don't want to rip or ruin the base. So one trick that I suggest and that has been helpful for me is a lot of times I've seen people just start to rip at it like this. You take your fingers and rip. That's gonna actually damage the unit. What I like to do is almost grip this and think about rolling it back, right? And pushing. So I'm pulling back lightly and I'm using more pressure from my hand pushing the system off of the scalp, right? With the towel. as opposed to just pulling it off and ripping it off the scalp, because you want to get a lot of longevity out of this, right? As much as you possibly can. And by doing this, it's really going to be helpful, right? And at some point, what you do need to understand is, yes, you will need to use a little more pressure, but if you're having any sort of difficulties, that's where you pull back and you spray. And when you spray the removal product, you want to start to use your finger and work it in. That's another thing that's important, is you want to work in sync with the removal product, because if you don't, you could actually get better results by doing it. So you see what I'm doing is I'm just working my thumb at the same time. It's really using your hand here, the grip, and your thumb. That's one of the best tips and tricks that I could really share with you, is to use your fingers and your hand simultaneously to get this off, right? So the one thing you don't want to do, for the sake of your scalp and also for the sake of the hair unit, is just start to rip and rip and rip, so that you're ripping your skin. This is strong, strong glue. The last thing you want to do is injure yourself, first and foremost, but second, you don't want to ruin the unit, because you can use this, right? You can get a lot of use out of this. I've worn systems, maybe at least, I'd say, 3 to 4 applications sometimes, just because I'm being very, very gentle with it, right? So once again, you spray, work it in with your fingers, and you can see I am pulling, but I'm doing more of a rolling motion like this, which is really, really crucial. You want to roll the product and the hair system off of the head instead of ripping it. So now that we're getting into the corners a bit more, here is where I'm going to start to, again, spray it, and I'm using my thumb to lift. And you want to almost try to get the base, right? You want to almost get a good solid lift from the actual edge of the base, and that's what you need to pull, right? As well as, at the same time, working this in. Make sure you're using this thumb and getting the product off. So I'm going to continue to do this. I'm going to kind of speed it up, and then we'll break it down at the end. All right, so here we have the hair unit fully intact. There's no rips whatsoever, which is very, very important that you don't damage the base as well as your scalp. Now, is this a messy job? It can be, depending on the ease of application of how the unit comes off. But in my opinion, if you follow the proper steps that I just suggested, then you shouldn't have any sort of problems. Once again, a link in the description to this hair unit, which I honestly think is the best, the most natural you can get. And they come in so many different colors. If you have any questions, you can follow Lavivid Hair on Instagram. You can DM them, and Tina, who's a customer support representative who's amazing, she can help you out and answer any sort of questions. Tell her that you saw my video. And again, use code TheSalonGuy for 15% off, which is a really, really great thing that they're doing. That's it, everyone. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this or you found these tips helpful. And I'll see you next time for more videos with Salon Guy.